Hello and welcome, mourners. You are listening to Dirge of Mourning's Coffin Carrier. I am your host, Andrew A. Graves, alongside Terabella Thorne. In this episode, we'll be looking at a Norwegian band called Funeral, with their song Burning with Regret, from the album Auditorium, released in 2012.
Solitude.
Oh, fuck me. That right there. Holy shit. Holy shit.
What about this song? What?
From start to finish, pure, epic funeral doom.
Yes, I definitely think pure, epic, traditional funeral doom.
Oh.
It had that traditional funeral doom flavor.
Oh, it did. And then some. Oh.
And some added, which we'll talk about, some added, like, stuff.
Oh, so, first thing that I need to know, the guy's vocalization in this song is just perfection, no?
Yes. The thing I want to say about that is it's unique, it's different, it's almost just a song being sung. I don't know how else to say it, but in funeral doom genre, I don't know how else to say it.
I guess the best way I could describe it is it's almost operatic.
I don't know about that. It's just being sung.
Well, the reason I'm saying it's almost operatic because you do have some of those oohs and ahs in there in the
you do,
middle part, but it's not just operatic, it's almost like theatrical as well.
I'm glad you said that, because to me there's a little flavor in there, and I barely noticed it. For some reason, when I hear this song, I think of medieval times, and I'm not sure why, but I just have this, it just gives me a medieval feeling.
No, I can definitely see that, because the way that the music is structured, it does have those sort of like bombastic-y elements to it with the orchestration.
There's something about the layout of the song. There's something about the way he's singing it. And if you even look at the cover of the album and the title of the album, Oratorium, with the sort of old-fashioned amber, it could be a parchment.
Right.
And you could hear this. I mean, it could be that it would sound great in like a medieval church. I could just hear this song being done that way.
Again, that's why it has like those sort of like bombastic orchestrational moments.
Mm-hmm. I mean, does this make sense? Am I totally off my rocker?
No, absolutely not. Because it's got that sort of hint to like soundtracks from like a medieval film. quality to it. Like, it's big, it's epic, and it's almost like
theatrical, laden with like your brocade gowns and your velvet curtains. That's, to me, what I see and hear. I don't know how, but that's
oh, absolutely,
one of the
absolutely.
reasons I really liked it is because of that aspect, and the lyrics go with that aspect.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that we're going to just quickly touch on here is the use of the actual, like, more heavier metal elements to the song, like the guitar riffing and stuff. All of that was laid out structurally just, magnificently. There was a certain part where the lead guitar was coming in between the orchestrational parts. Oh, it just sets this really dark, ominous mood perfectly. At least for me, anyway. And then obviously you have like the big, like, church organ style coming in.
That's the style. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing like, I could seriously picture this song being performed in an old church or something like that, and it being extremely heavily laden with, the overtures of the medieval times in look and sound.
Well, one of the things I have noticed,
I think this song is an experience, and I think it's
right.
different than other things that we've heard. And one of the things that I like about when we talk about various songs is we tend to choose ones that are not just your run-of-the-mill, if there is a run-of-the-mill funeral doom aspect. We choose ones that are kind of out of the boundaries of the norm. And I like that. I like that.
Well, one of the things that I have noticed, again, you touched on it there, is the idea of this setting of, like, the Gothic-esque architecture of the medieval times.
Yeah.
Their music does...
Back then, it would be Romanesque leading into Gothic. But, we won't get into all that because of the architecture aspect. But anyway.
Maybe that could be a topic for later. No, the scenery that, like you were describing there, the sort of Romanesque, Gothic-esque type style, is really a sort of essential part to, like, that funeral doom, like, DNA. When it comes to creating, like, these types of, like, big bombastic songs that are, like, grand epics, you almost have to imagine, singing these types of songs in, like, those grand halls and stuff like that. Otherwise, I don't think it would get that power across of, like, just how doom-laden it is. That's why when you compare it with, like, the lyrical aspect and the way that he was singing it, it does sound like, a lead choir person standing there and taking on that solo.
That I agree with. And what was I just thinking? I don't know, it slipped out of my head. But it's like a throwback to old times. I don't know how better to explain it than that. Like, it definitely is not anything extremely new or modern. However, the way they laid out the song is really weird. Because when we've got up, and we should let our viewers know that when they do look at these lyrics, they jump all over the place. Another thing that's really interesting is the lyrics, from the moment that they start, they go all the way to the end. What I mean is, there's not a lot in there of pausing, or the lyrics. This guy and guys, whatever, or people,
band,
the band singing, they have a lot to say, and they say it over and over again.
Well, that's because I believe that the message that they're getting across is a very, like, poignant one. Like, they're not just sort of, like, repeating the lyrics just for the sake of repeating because of the song.
No, they're not. No, they're driving something home.
Right. So, I guess that leads us into the concept of what's your favorite lyric, verse, line? What is it? What is it for you?
Okay. So it's definitely. I'm just gonna read the stanza. Dying twixt the mills of God, grinding bones to flour. The song makes bitter dances when crushed beneath that tower. Now, this is a metaphorical thing. We're not sitting there at a millstone grinding some bones into flour. But
or are we?
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. This is a questioning of religious aspect right here.
Yes.
And it's just wonderful the way I can say it or he can sing it.
This is poetry.
It is.
And one of the things about this particular piece of poetry is it's in motion.
Right. And another thing, the use of the words in this. Who on earth uses the word twixt? That is an old throwback, once again, to olden times.
Oh, yes.
Twixt. Nobody uses that word. We say between. We don't say twixt. Unless you're talking about some candy bars. They don't have the T at the end. The twixt.
That's true.
But nobody uses that word.
And no one actually structures sentences the way that this song is structured as well.
Right. It's old-fashioned.
Exactly. There is a sort of like that medieval, almost old English style of writing words.
That's what I was also thinking. The old English style, in a way.
It's obviously it's structured with like a old sensibility about it.
I know that earlier, before I heard the song, which I had forgotten what the song sounded like, we sat and looked at the lyrics, and I just read them as a poem out loud. Mm-hmm. And of course, my emphasis and everything is different when just reading as a poem, but it's actually very beautiful and has a meaning.
Oh, absolutely.
So now when they sing it, it sounds a little different than when I read it. But this is just, and the way that they repeat certain stanzas because they're driving that home. So it has come to this. All but solitude and explicit detail have folded and left me.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite part of the song. That opening verse, from start to finish, both opens and ends the song, and that caught my attention immediately. I fell in love with the song immediately.
I can hear him singing it right now. That's the main melody right there.
Right? I could almost repeat it verbatim in my head.
Can you sing it? Just go ahead and sing it out loud. Come on now.
All right, I'll give it a bash. So it has come to this, all but solitude. No, see, I fucked it. But yeah, I'll not embarrass myself any further. But no.
Also, the word, who thought of this? Explicit detail.
Right?
What? First of all,
again,
explicit detail. Detail already means like detail, and then they go explicit detail. It's like, wow.
But it's not just that though. It's the way it's like placed, right? You've got the so, right? That's your beginning word. You're sort of like standing going, okay, so it has come to actually this. This is the point where it's come to. After this,
most people say that line in life. So it's come to this. So
right.
So it has come to this.
There's this like tragedy behind it.
There's an emphasis. there's an emphasis on this.
Right.
So we know what they're talking about.
It's all but solitude. Okay. So let's break that down just a little. It's come to this all but solitude. In explicit detail. So we've got everything but solitude.
Right.
So he's not alone. The character within the song isn't constrained or constricted by solitude.
No, it is solitude. Here, hold on. The way I'm reading it differently than. So has it come to this? All but solitude in explicit detail has folded and left me. So all except solitude has left me.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All that's left is solitude.
No.
Yes. I'm gonna argue this one with you.
No, so am I, because
Yeah.
there's a reason I'm saying that this person is not within solitude. At least not to begin with. Because what?
Sorry, I see it differently. Go ahead, tell me what you think.
You can argue your point in a minute.
I will.
The reason why I'm saying that he doesn't care about the element of solitude not being a part of the things that have gone up and left is because the next part of the song, so alas, the sleeper dies, in all devouring darkness consumed, right? With tears are blood from the soul, where tears are blood from the soul, I should say. The idea of that is the solitude has consumed everything else. He has become solitude, so therefore he is not alone within solitude. He has become the embodiment of solitude. So he is no longer alone because everybody else will find themselves in solitude. In other words, misery loves company kind of idea is what I'm getting from that.
Okay, so I'm just reading it differently.
Okay.
So, and this usually happens with us.
Oh, yeah.
So I do think it means, so it's come to this, all, meaning all encompassing, but meaning except. So in other words, everything but or except solitude in explicit detail. Solitude, in other words, divine solitude has folded and left me. In other words, everything else about life is gone.
Okay.
And this person is left in solitude. That's the way I'm reading that.
Well, here's the great thing, though. I can actually see it your way, too. Because the following line after the one that I just read is hopelessness grinds and feeds with mirth. My philosophies of death, the nihilistic seal in which I once saw reason, a black and spite with black sarcastic tortures. So I can see where you're coming from with that line and reading it in conjunction with the way that's got it up here.
I mean, and that paragraph you just read, that's a difficult one to understand.
Well, the way that I get that is this is a person who had not so much a nihilistic sense of life, but one of questions. Because there is a theme about religion in this.
There definitely is.
We had your favorite verse that speaks about the metaphor of,
turning into dust.
Aye. But there's also another part where it talks about old beliefs are like splintered shields.
Yeah.
Well, what is a splintered shield? It's a broken tool. So this person is trying to explain that these, beliefs of whether it be traditional Christianity or just religion in general are needing to either be repaired or thrown away. because they no longer work within the confines of where he finds himself.
Well, or having any beliefs at all.
There's that too.
Could be a metaphor to a splintered shield. In other words, how can I say it and make sense? No one really knows. So all of these beliefs, whether they're old, modern, or whatever, are broken. In other words,
True.
We don't really know about death until we experience it. And so that's maybe, or they're just talking about like some of the antiquated things that people did believe about, like pre-death or whatever the belief system was.
The reason I go with that point is because of the verse that has that particular point in it. Facing mortality with trembling fingers as every failing soars. In truth and in essence, old beliefs are like splintered shields.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you're about to become dead, or you're watching someone die.
Yes.
And there's nothing. There is nothing to save them. This is how they've come to this conclusion. That's why I believe that the last sort of verse sums up the guy's idea of he's become solitude because he has taken everything away. He's embraced this idea that, you know, there is nothing to life other than, like, you live, you die, end of.
Mm-hmm.
But because he once had these, like, religious connotations, this is why he says, "Be still my bleeding heart. Yeah. Alas, all love is dead," i.e. the love of, like, the god or the religion or even the people involved. Monumental in its overwhelming silence. In other words, nothing has come to change his mind.
Right.
Flooding with hurt, burning with regret. In other words, he wasted his entire life in trying to believe in this concept.
Yeah.
And it failed.
And once again, I'm going to say, this is the idea in the Altars of Grief album. So, even though that is not Funeral Doom, the concept, the religious and death concept and the rejection of old belief is that, I mean, basically they say that old beliefs are like splintered shields. In other words, the old beliefs aren't working. They're not right. So, you know, it's something that gives you rise to think a little bit. Am I on the right track with my belief system about how things work?
Especially when it's in conjunction with the concept of mortality, because that's what they're questioning.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Is
absolutely.
Like, you know, and I'm not talking just about you or me or
no.
Anybody with any ideas, any concept, you do need to question them.
Oh yeah, at least from time to time.
I mean, being a skeptic is a good thing.
It is.
People hear this and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. We don't just want to accept everything. Oh, okay, now I'm going to get onto a political thing. No, I'm not. I promise I won't get onto political. That, like...
I understand.
Yeah, we need to question, because questioning makes us smarter.
Well, it makes
things clearer. It
gives you peace of mind.
Yeah, I mean, you need to do this. You can't just follow... Excuse me, are you going to be the little sheeps following the big sheeps? I don't think so. Let's not be the sheep, let's be the wolves. I want to be the wolf.
Well, keep in mind, though, that with these ideas of, like, you know, you question any belief system, really.
Yeah.
no matter what position you hold, always question it, because that again could lead to, you know, one's own emancipation, for example.
Exactly.
But again, just fantastically written.
Yes.
It just, see, this is the thing. It gets you to think about like shit you normally wouldn't think about within, like, you know, the terms of like, you know, oh, how do you really feel about death, and like your stance on it all. You're sitting there going, you bastards, you got me to use my noggin.
Don't ask my coworkers these questions, you know. I could.
It's a philosophical question, and it's an amazing thing to start an album with. Is, hey, question your shit before you die. You know, do you have any regrets about it?
Right.
Do you feel that you're justified? You know, these philosophical points that it brings up, and that's just the first fucking song.
I know, it's a very good one, right?
Oh, I guess that just leaves us with the one thing then. Scoring.
Oh. Okay, so I know we like this a lot. My score is going to be 9.5.
On this occasion, I'm going to have to literally say, no, you're wrong. It's a 10.
Okay, so we have to go in between and do the median. In math terms, it's 9.75.
See, the reason I give it such a high rating is because of literally what it gave us. A discussion that could go on for hours.
Yeah, it could. I agree, but the only reason that I say a little bit lower is because I have other songs that I like a lot more. So yes. I'm in the scheme of things, although standalone song, I'm gonna leave it up to you. You put up there the rating you want, because I'm gonna defer to you, because as standalone, not looking at any other songs,
right? Just
simply judging this song on its own. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is. Yeah.
Because, like I'm saying, hours of philosophical talk, diving into like even just the language being used from like the old English style. Yeah. You could have hours of fun diving into that. The music is.
I don't know how many people would consider hours of fun diving into Old English, but there have got to be some people out there.
Well, if they do not consider it fun, they're clearly missing out.
Yeah.
Look, guys, extend your vocabulary. It's amazing.
Here's the thing I think that we would like everyone to take away from this is that it's fun to pick these songs apart.
Oh, absolutely.
And not only looking at the lyrics, but also the music, as we said, very traditional funeral doom, which stood up very well.
Oh.
So there we go. Another
10 out of 10, guys, honestly. And if you have been, for whatever reason, living under a tomb and haven't come across this band,
if they're under a tomb, they're probably not alive.
What even more better reason to send them a funeral album?
Yeah, here we go. We'll send it to all the living dead.
Well, that's usually how I describe myself. But on that note, guys, that's going to do it from us here at Coffin Carrier. Until next time, mourners, remember, every day is a funeral.